Hello, everybody. This is Wil Johnson again, FYPM _ staffing, and Finding Your Personnel Management LLC. And today we have a little bit more full of a show. So we're going to title today's show, "This is what happens when you try to improve on perfection." You get these two. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead.
I need to pause. Milky Melanin, you ain't stepping in. Come on,
I'm just trying to feel out at this point. I don't know what is happening.
Is that not flag worthy? Throw it.
Okay.
Miss Melanin, IG, YouTube.
I'm giving it back.
No, don't throw it at me. Throw it up. That's a
Oh
flag.
my goodness. Okay.
Referees don't throw flags at people. They throw them up. They let the people see that there's been an infraction.
Focus.
Okay, you're right. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce my co-host first. You've seen her a couple times, Miss Milky Melanin, Samantha. Go ahead, introduce yourself and your company real quickly.
Hi, I am the owner of Milky Melanin, a matte lipstick brand, and I am happy to be here.
And then we have, they're to my right, but I think they'll be to my left on the screen. We have James Corey Johnson and we have Jason Courtney Johnson. These are my younger brothers, which I kind of told y'all earlier. Once you try to improve on perfection, but they both also own companies. Corey is over the voice projects. I saw that, Courtney, no flags on the play. And Courtney does a couple of things. Cookie Connoisseur is what I put on here because I could not remember. Also his speech therapy company. So we're going to go ahead and start with Corey, talk a little bit about the Voice Project, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to go to Courtney.
One, thank you for having me. I'm extremely proud of the work that you're doing, bringing in small businesses of color and also promoting your brand at the same time. So shout out to you.
Thank you.
Milky Melanin, it is good to see you. For the first time, I've seen you on Mark's channel, Will's channel. So I appreciate making the connection, even though he didn't do it. So this is how you improve on perfection. My name is Corey Johnson. The Voice Project, we simply focus on finding your voice. The importance of understanding who you are, knowing that there's a table for you, and that when you go, you bring something to it. In a nutshell, that's what I do. I create spaces for people, either virtually or in person, companies, school systems, individuals, and we work on finding their voice. That may sound odd, but for the most part, people don't listen to themselves. And as a result, they get into relationships. They suffer through a professional existence where they're not their best because they're not anywhere close to finding their purpose. So I will leave some more of the pie for my twin brother, in which we've actually doubled what perfection looks like, Jason Courtney Johnson.
I appreciate that alley-oop, and I'll take it to the rim from there. My name is Jason Courtney Johnson. Depending on when you knew me, I'm Jason or Courtney or Mr. J or JJ or a bunch of different combinations of my initials. The logo here, over there, yeah, all right. The logo here says Speech Therapy Unlimited, which is a speech therapy company started with my wife, but I also have one that I do transition speech therapy services where I focus in on neurologic progressive disorders. So Parkinson's, Huntington's, TBI, traumatic brain injury, strokes, and the like. So I primarily work with adults, but I cut my teeth on teeth in Houston ISD and some of the Chicago public schools before I moved down here to Houston. The other business that Will was talking about was the Cookie Connoisseur. So I have a cookie company that I make custom cookies for people. So you choose your dough, you choose your toppings or your add-ins as they are, and I create a cookie for you. So, yeah, okay. That's what we do. Okay. So, as you can see, this side of the screen, quite perfectious. Yep, I made it up. I sure did.
Well, then, I am super excited about this cookie and making my own dough and whatnot. And how do I do that? Is it like a website I order through? Like what does that tell me about that?
Well, it's so right. I haven't done a lot of cookie orders recently because of how busy I am with speech therapy. So it's usually seasonal. People usually ask for a lot of cookies during holiday seasons and birthdays and whatnot. And it's been strictly word of mouth. So once people taste them, then it's the next order, the next order, the next order, the next order. And then we slow down, which I'm grateful for because it is, it's a lot of, it's time consuming, but it's time consuming. It's a project that I love doing. My brothers and I all cook, whether it's the baking part or the grilling part, because, the 4th is tomorrow, or just providing nourishment to our families. It's something that I love doing, but the baking part has just been something that I've always enjoyed the most out of all the other aspects of cooking.
Okay. So you should be also an AKA cookie boy. Like that should be one of your AKAs.
Throw it in there.
Yeah.
Throw it in there.
So cookie boy sticks.
So
Yeah, I like that.
let's go ahead and start the main question I ask everybody. So I will start with you, Corey. Why did you start the Voice Project?
Considering that I live in Waterloo, Iowa, the 2020 report said that it's one of the worst communities for African Americans to live. That's a misnomer, I believe. But growing up in the Midwest, in which there isn't a lot of us that is represented in different mediums. So how do I know what I know? Where was it that I initially came up with what I thought of my self-concept? Most people just assume that the person that they are is something that's self-created. It's a lie. Most people are the projection of what the world provided. They said, here's your definition of self, follow that. Anytime you have a person who is outside of what the society says is normal, they're considered visionaries. They're considered icons. They're considered rebels, not because they are, but because they refuse to accept a definition of who they are from something outside of themselves. My job, my passion is having those conversations with people to really explore the question of who am I? Because once we know who the answer to that question, life becomes very simple. Either this is for me or it's against me. And then I can pour my entire passion into following a path that finds my purpose. If I'm not on that path, then I'm simply one of those people in the field. That's just what it is. So either I'm going to have the conversations that build people into a self-defined human being that is fully working towards actualizing the greatness that is within them. We're all great, every single person on this screen.
Absolutely.
And every person who's viewing this or listening to this, you're great, regardless of what somebody else has told you. Listen to a voice of perfection, because nothing can be added or subtracted to my voice, just like nobody can add or subtract to the voices that are on this screen. But that's where my passion is. I want people to find that. You can't find it in a book. You can't ask somebody else to tell you. You have to do the self-work that's worthy of yourself. That's the work we're supposed to be working towards regardless.
Right.
But Jason said it best. We get to working and then the world crowds in, and then the voice that we're supposed to be listening to becomes less and less and less. And it gets to a point where it's so unfamiliar that we don't trust us anymore. And when that happens, we can fall for the okie doke. We can fall for, that's not you. You're not supposed to be with him. You're not supposed to be with her. Oh, okay. And we just accept it. We accept the lie.
That job is not for you. That job is not for you. You're not supposed to travel across the world. You're not supposed to write that book. You're not supposed to follow your dreams. You're supposed to stay right here where I can control you. where I can continue to define who you are and what you'll do and tell you what your parameters are.
So that's the basis of why I started and I wanted to start it with high school students because they're in a state of transition.
Okay.
They say it's easier to work with or to raise healthy human beings than to fix broken individuals. It's true. Think of somebody who's never been raised and trying to correct them as an adult, as opposed to somebody who's been raised, and the correcting part is so much easier because they've been raised. It's biblical. Right. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to the next person.
Courtney?
There's a lot of theory that goes into speech pathology. It's a lot. There are books and books and books, and most of the expense of a college experience is a book. And a lot of it's not true. It's good in theory. Don't get me wrong. It's good to understand that there are ideal aspects of the therapeutic process. And Corey, you understand that. There's an idealization that is in books. And when you actually when theory meets practice, that's when you either meet the needs of the persons who are sitting in front of you, or you go back to that book saying, well, it's not working. Why is this not working? And so it's been a passion of mine for communication. Anybody that knows me knows that I hate not understanding. And a lot of my patients, through no fault of their own, their brains aren't working the way they should. They're no longer optimal, and accessing communication skills that lead to a more functional existence you can't follow on what you've always done because of whatever neurologic event that occurred. And so started off with kids in school. So most speech therapists go the kid route, and very few go into the academic, the medical route, and much fewer stay with geriatrics or adults. And maybe it's where I went to school, which was the University of Iowa, and then graduate school at the University of Northern Iowa, but I was never told I had to pick a lane. And so I've been able to explore the pediatric side, the acute rehab, hospitals, nursing homes, home health, private practice. And I was never told that I couldn't do that. So while I was in school, a bunch of friends said, hey, let's get together and let's make this company, let's make this work. My wife and I said, okay, we're headed to Houston, let's start it here. And we asked people, and we said, hey, let's get this started. And she said, well, if we're the only ones that are going to do this, let's just do it. And she started it in 2006. We went through 2017, providing exceptional speech therapy for anybody that walked through the doors of our clinic, those who had speech therapy in schools, and then everybody that we serviced for home health. I got started because I thought I could do it better than anybody else. I enjoy
that.
I'm sorry?
Do you still believe that?
Absolutely.
As you should.
And that's the thing. Anybody that knows me, I talk shop or speech therapy to whomever calls my phone. You have therapists that I've worked with in the past. Hey, Jason, I got this patient. Here's their age. Here's their diagnosis. What's going on? The other thing about that book knowledge is that I don't forget much. Like, it sticks. It seems weird that, if I read the book, if I understand the theory, if I understand what we learned in school, it's still here. And there's very few people that actually can that put the theory into practice and then can modify it so it's optimal for the person sitting in front of them. I enjoy it. I love therapy. I would do it for free if I didn't have bills. But I have bills, so there is a fee.
Understood.
Samantha, reintroduce yourself a little bit because we did yours about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Tell people a little bit about your company.
Hold on. You act like she's forgettable. They know
I
who
didn't
she
say
is.
she was forgettable. I want her to reintroduce her company.
Okay.
All right, put some respect on her name then.
That's right, honey. Put some respect on my name. So anywho, Milky Melanin is a matte lipstick brand. We also carry lip liners, lipstick, lip gloss, and we drop different colors monthly. We've been running for almost a year now. We do pop-up shops. We are online, www.milkymelanin.com. It's all that good stuff. And that's us in a nutshell.